Welcome to the 31st episode. My
30th.
name's Jill Petrie. I'm a psychic medium.
And my name is Frank. I'm a mystic and coach.
How you doing tonight?
Well, not too bad. Yourself?
Pretty good.
Good.
Getting better.
Getting better? Yeah, that's true. Eh? You had a little bit of a pain.
I see I didn't even pull the wheel up tonight. What are we going to talk about?
Oh, that's okay. If anything, we can rely. I had remember I got Chat GPT to give us a cool topic.
Oh, yeah. I forgot about that. I'm excited about that.
Oh, better yet, I had a crazy discussion with her this morning. I don't know why I
Really? About what?
about using love as a currency. That's a thing I have. It's a thing
And what did she
I
tell you?
really want to work on. She was like she doesn't have access to a whole lot, so
What should we ask her tonight? I wonder if any of our audience has anything they want us to ask.
where did we have? I had her at some book as well. Uh, yeah, let's say new chat, and let's just say give us a topic.
Looking for topics.
Spiritual. Spiritual.
I'm curious to
Here,
know
here's
if
a topic:
she
exploring the role of meditation in spiritual growth. There you go. That's one
that,
topic.
that's what I was about to say. I was curious to know if she thinks meditation is a good healing process, way to heal. Let's ask her that.
Well, it's not so much what she thinks; it's what data is.
What they told her to think.
She doesn't think she's an AI.
What they told her to think.
It's not really what they tell her to think either. She depending on the AI,
Is she pulling
like
like information like the most up to date?
not directly from the web, uh,
Okay.
and that's I think the weakness. That was the weakness in my conversation with her this morning. Um, Again, I don't know why I keep on gendering the damn thing, but but that was the problem. She was going like, well, okay, I can get like that kind of information, but not this kind.
Right.
Uh, and I was like, okay, well, I need a better AI. but she's cool for stuff like this, right? Like here's a topic, exploring the role of medication, and then I can say another here's another topic about spirituality, the relationship between spirituality and mental health, examining the benefits of spiritual practices for psychological well-being. See, there you go. Want to talk about that?
I agree. I definitely think that it helps with a lot of things.
I think the link. I think they're both one and the same. Mental health and spirituality, like they are both. It's There are two systems talking about us and how we work inside and how we um, and so yeah, they work together. They both explain the
It's
human.
kind of funny how it works together because it's kind of like when you go through a depressive stage, not always, but a lot of times it can open you up to a spiritual awakening. And a lot of times a spiritual awakening can put you into a depressive stage.
Well, it's a crisis. Like a lot of people have awakenings when they go through a crisis because you go through a crisis, and I mean, I would venture that every single crisis in your life is followed by an awakening. Now,
Hmm.
it may be that some of those awakenings are not, you know, groundbreaking. You're not going like, "Oh my God, I have discovered God." Some of them you just go like, "Oh my God, I have discovered that I keep on choosing the wrong people in my life. Now I can choose better." Right? That's an awakening of sorts. We don't realize it. We think of them separately because one is of a spiritual nature while the other is of a mental nature. But our spiritual, our mental, our emotional, all of it is tied into one. It's us, right? And but this is the secret. This is the not the secret. I mean, it's not secret at all. But that higher self that we have, that self that's um, connected connected to source, but also connected to all the parts that we are. That part, um, like that whole connection and that whole layering. Um, I don't know where I was going with that, but that's key. That's what we are. That's what we are. All those levels, all those things: mental, emotional, spiritual, intuitive, uh, all those things we are at once, right? And so, ignoring one for the benefit of another is one of our biggest problems. It's one of the things we do that's killing us, right? Because we either take, like, we have very mental people, and I don't mean like mental crazy people, I mean mental, like, head people. And we
Open
have,
minded. I think you should say open minded.
no, I don't think at all I should say open minded.
Why?
Because they tend to be very close minded. They
Well,
tend to be excessively
not
close
always,
minded.
but sometimes people that have mm, I don't want to say issues either, but that things that go on mentally are the ones that open up,
Yeah,
like
no, but
spiritually.
I'm not
And
talking about.
to me, when you open up spiritually, hand in hand, you open up your mind. Your mind
um
begins to open anyway. It's the
a lot of
beginning of
people
the
function
opening.
only in their mind. A lot of people have zero ability in dealing with emotions, right? And some people only have emotions and have zero ability to deal with anything mental.
Hmm.
See, that's the problem, right? You look at everything we have in society right now, the right, the left, whatever. The right is basically people that function in their head. So they're all about data, they're all about statistics, they're all about, but they forget that we're humans and we have a human nature. And then you have like the other side, which is the emotional side, right? Like it's the and I mean, forgive me for gendering here or whatever, but typically you have the, like the feminists, you have the transgendered, you have the, like, it's a more, like, I don't want to categorize, but it's a more emotional bag on that side, right? And so the one is trying to fight with data and going like, well, this is not right because we know that this and that. And the other one's coming at it from an emotional side, going, hey, man, I exist, right? Like, hi, here I am. I'm not a statistic. I'm a person and I exist. And we should all applaud each other and whatnot. But they're both right. Nobody's wrong here.
No, in any situation.
Nobody's wrong. It's just that everybody wants to be right. And so everybody's going, oh, you're wrong. And this is what we've developed as a, right? That was one of the things this morning that I wanted to kind of talk a little bit about with Chat GPT, was to say, like, if we're, AI is a thing, right? It's coming, it's happening, whatever. It's all over the place right now. And it's going to take a life of its own so quick. And I don't mean by that the singularity. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about just, it's coming, right? And I think the problem is AI will definitely be something to contend with, in particular if it ends up being stuck in robots. uh, like, that is a recipe for it to be capable of really, really crazy things. But here's the deal: if it became capable of those things, what we need to do is to have it, we need to be able to have a good relationship with it. And right now, it would fear us because we're unstable.
And
We're a bunch of friggin' crazies.
that's probably why the mind, some people work in their mind so much because If they had time to stop and think, that would probably drive them crazy.
No, what would drive them crazy is if they stopped and felt, and it would enlighten them. That is what
Absolutely.
that is what each and every one of us has to do. If you live in your head, you need to go and learn about your emotions. If you live in your heart, you need to develop that head that's going to be able to analyze and to do those things, right? Not because neither one is better than the other. They're both functions of who we are. But not only that, they say like the microcosm and the macrocosm, right? Like, so within ourselves, there's that happening. But within society, the same thing is happening. We need to grab both sides and integrate them and say, okay, wait a minute, maybe because we keep on what we keep on trying to do is basically okay, so we're gonna like completely destroy half of humanity, the half that is wrong, right? The other half, and then we'll be okay. Like, what the hell kind of thinking is that, right? Where the truth is, both halves are going to exist because they're typically going to be pretty much divided down the middle of the entire population in some way or another, right? Like, I mean, we could get down to looking at details and looking at stuff and whatever, but I mean, I suspect I'd be able to make a good case of it. And so that division, that thing that happens, well, we have to reintegrate ourselves. And so we all have to become, and in a way, it's happening naturally right
Frank
now.
just
Yeah.
no, I was Rusty was coming in. I'm sorry.
Oh, so that's okay. Um, but that's what we're coming into right now is that we're starting to be put in situations where we have to reintegrate because men were trained to be warriors for a long time, right? Right now, and so this made our testosterone. We needed testosterone. You needed estrogen. We needed, and so right now there's a sort of a balancing that's happening, and most of us that have lived in any other generation than what's going on right now, we're going like, whoa, this is weird, man. This is like a weird mixing of everything. Well, God knows what's going on. And I mean, yeah, I'm almost 50, so yeah, as far as I'm concerned, I don't know, but
I'm
it's
definitely
it's
seeing differences with the new generations.
oh, absolutely, but it's not to be feared. I think it's to be
I don't
embraced. We
no, I don't think it's bad, but I think it's like a 360-degree change because it's a big change. It's not a subtle change.
It's fast. It's the speed. Um, right now, okay, it's something I find everybody forgets, and that's an important factor in anything we think about these days. Any idea that we used to have as humanity that was over the course of a few generations, right? We used to say, like, okay, well, we're going to start a societal change and it's going to take a few generations to take effect. Well, here's the deal. Right now, we have four generations living. And so at this point, things are happening so fast, generations are happening so fast. So whatever we think usually like, oh, that won't be in my lifetime. Oh yeah, it'll be in your lifetime big time and more,
And you
right?
signed up for it.
Yeah, I guess. That's cool though. And so yeah, like that's what's happening right now, and we have to find a way to embrace it. We can't reject it. It's us. It's what we did. It's what we are. It's what we have to embrace it.
So
And
here's a question for you. What do you think about the concept of existing in multiple universes at the same time?
okay, this might get confusing real fast. Okay. Like when you see graphs like a family tree or something like that, right?
Hmm.
Okay, It's almost like an infinite one, like that, but it contains every single possibility possible. Everything. I mean, the tree of life kind of, yes,
No, I
can
was just
work to
using that as
explain
a
it.
family tree because I don't have a family tree
Oh,
uploaded.
but the tree of life can somewhat work to explain this. Um, and so all that, so everything, every small choice you make is an opportunity for two universes to exist. One where you picked A, one where you picked B. They both exist simultaneously, and you are one spark experiencing one path. And there are like multitudes of little sparks experiencing different, all the other different paths all at once. And this is where it gets weird because time like just vanishes. The time doesn't exist in that sense, right? So every single one of them happens at the same time, which is why, theoretically, I believe it. You can actually access knowledge from any given time. Any like you can have a sort of a connection, a fluid connection with the universe, with whatever it is, with source. Um, I mean, we can't know what it is. It's impossible to know what it is. Like it's funny because we
Oh yeah,
try to
no,
discuss it.
nobody actually knows until it happens.
I mean, it's
Um,
it's
I mean, I've connected with people on the other side that have given me ideas, but can I say I know? I not 100%. I
no,
mean,
it's unknowable. It's not knowable.
I
We
still
cannot
have a
know it.
hard time not feeling like like what in the hell is going on? Like when I connect with people, because I still have a hard time believing it because it's so weird. That was the wrong word.
Well, no, that's cool though. That's it makes well, yeah, it would
Well,
be.
I guess the thing is like you always doubt yourself, and then when you make a
Mhm.
connection and you give the information to your sitter, and they like yeah 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 yeah, it's like really like I know I said it, I know that's what I felt and that or that's what I saw, that's
I
what I thought, but really,
didn't think
it's
I
still like
do.
it's still like gets unbelievable to me in a good way.
I get that too. I'll answer something on Facebook because I don't do readings or anything, but I interact with people on Facebook, right? And somebody sometimes, every once in a while, will pop up on a group or something and be like, "Oh, can anybody read me?" And I'll look at them and I'll be like, "Oh, okay, well that's what's going on in your life, and you gotta stop doing this." Or whatever it is, right? And I'm just like straight to the point, and I'm like, this may be so off, like I don't even know. I just feel like that's what I want to say somehow, and then I'll look back, and there'll be like three people that they've answered back or something, and I'm one of them, and they're like, "Oh yeah, no, that's exactly. I gotta take care of that." And I'm just like, "Holy crap! Okay, how did that happen?" And I like, but and same what I was saying on one of the episode when you were in the hospital, I was like I get told times that I have to do certain things or not do certain things. Like I don't know how to explain. That is fairly new because that came when I think, as far as I know, anyways, that I need other people to really be experienced. But I think it's when I
But
started
see,
contacting my higher power, so
here's the
my
thing,
uh,
you
higher
know,
self.
I'm a person that moves fast. You know how I am when I have a plan in my head, I'm like,
Yeah.
we doing it now. But you're not. So you're still in that
No.
stage where you're like not like I'm in the stage where like I'm still in kind of disbelief at times, but like I still do it. And you're in the stage where you're in disbelief, so you don't do it.
Don't do what?
Like make connections with like I don't want to say make connections. I want to say like try to read psychically
I don't feel the need to.
because you don't. I don't think that I don't want to say you don't
No,
believe in
I'm
yourself.
just
I don't think that you. I think that you still have doubts, like I do, but
no.
in a
It's
different way
doubts about what?
about psychic connections.
No, I don't call them that, but I have no
I
doubts
know.
about them. I have no doubts about them. Like there's connections to all kinds of things.
No, I don't mean you have doubts about them. I mean you have doubts that you can actually do that.
I do it all the time. I just don't call it psychic. I just don't call it psychic, but I do it all the time. I call it intuition. That's
All the same thing, just like God, Jesus,
yeah, yeah.
the universe. Some
It's
words
just
mean multiple things.
see to me, I've just never liked the word psychic for one because it's been misused, misabused. It's been like whatever. And you know what? Half the people that still use it's almost like a parlor trick. And it's like, okay, no, like why? Like, I mean, there's some people that are psychic, and the funny part is they're often not the ones that make the most noise about it. Um, but because that's the whole thing, right? It's like I don't want to read people. I don't care to read people. Like, I mean, I read people in the sense that if I'm coaching someone, yeah, sure, that's an ability that's going to come in handy, and that's an ability that they're going to benefit from, because yes, I'm instantly when I communicate with somebody when I'm coaching, within minutes of them, there's what I call the story, right? And somebody will come in and they'll tell you, oh, this is what's happening, and this is because Bob did that, and Mary did this, and this happened with Steve, and blah blah blah, right? And they'll go through the whole thing, and what I'm hearing is the underlying condition that keeps on repeating itself or keeps on showing up everywhere or keeps the thing that ties it all together, and immediately that'll be the thing that I address, right? Now, whether that's intuition, psychic ability, whether it's because I'm reading little signs and whatever, it doesn't matter. That's accessory. What's important is that, yeah, I'm able to use it in that setting to help someone. But to advertise that, that's what my problem is in advertising anything that says, I'm the solution. You
No, I
need
don't think
me
anybody's the
to.
solution.
No, but that's what most psychics kind of imply
Yeah,
is
but most
you
people
need me
think
to
they are the
communicate
solution.
with this. And I'm like, no, but in essence, if you're offering reading, you're saying, you need me to read this. And I'm saying, I can teach you to read this. I don't need to read it for you. You can read it. But I refuse to actually read it for you because guess what? You can read it. And I'm willing to show you how. And if you're not willing to learn, we're not a match. We're not the right people for each other. Because what I'm here for is people who actually want to look. I mean, when it comes to my coaching, it's not cheap. It's not uh, because I want somebody that will take great commitment in themselves. And unless you're willing to work at having a spiritual life, unless you're willing to
Well,
actually
that's the
sit,
thing.
meditate,
If you're not
spend
willing to put
time,
in the work, you can hire all the coaches you want. You have
nothing's
to
going to happen.
you have to be willing.
But, well, okay, no, wait a minute, though. That's where the coaches help, though.
And
That's the skill we
that's
have that,
that's one of the reasons why I kind of backed away from doing readings because people don't most people in my opinion, and this is probably gonna piss some people off, but this is the truth. Like when they want a reading, they just want to know about they want to hear what they want the outcome to be. And if you don't tell them what they want the outcome to be, they get pissed off. And that's just how it is.
but that's,
And I'm not going to tell you what you want me to tell you. I'm going to tell you what it is.
What's going to piss you off, and that's okay. Yeah, but that's the responsibility you have in a way. That's kind of it comes with the territory. And it's the same thing when I remember there was one time there was a person I don't know why I get called to help some people every once in a while, like I don't know, like I do ritual in the morning and
Are blocked.
I channel energy and I can send that energy to heal, but it's not something I do. It's not a service I offer. It's not a thing. It's not like Reiki. I don't know. I could, but I don't. Like that's not a thing for me. But every so often, I'll come across somebody and I'll be like, wow, this could really benefit them. And then for some reason, I'll be called to say, hey, I need, can I do this for you? And there was this one person, and they asked and whatever. And so I did it. And the next day, they were like, wow, I had a special day with my daughter and blah, blah, blah. Because there was a whole thing with her daughter. I don't want to get into it because I don't know. But she came back later and was like, hey, can you do it again? And I was like, and this time I received a very different message. And I was like, oh, here's what I can send you how you can do it. And, that practically ended the conversation forever. Like, it's still a person in my contacts and whatever. And I mean, and I still would welcome talking to her. But it was just kind of funny that it went like, oh, okay. But it's like, no, why don't you learn to do it? Every day will be that like that day. You know what I mean? Like, but no, people want talismans and rocks and crystals and trinkets and voodoo dolls and God knows what else. They just don't think they have it in them, and they do. Everybody's a powerful magician. Um, just have to be made aware of it.
Thing about, oh
Just
shit,
place
I
on
did
the
the wrong
wall.
thing. I don't know what I did.
Is that
Oh,
okay?
I hit the wrong button. I
Wait.
think the main thing
Anyway,
about when, now I lost what I was going to say.
that works. I'll come back
Oh
at
my
you.
god. Okay, I think the main thing, like with crystals and different tools that people use, is like, I mean, crystals do have power. Don't get me wrong, but it's what you put into them. I can't send you a crystal and say, "Hey, this crystal's gonna do this for you." You have to put in work, just like with anything else. You have to cleanse this crystal. You have to charge this crystal. You have to program this crystal. You have to make it do. And by doing that, by doing those steps, that actually manifests what your goal is. So, can you do it without that crystal? It's very possible.
Well, it's a bit of both, right? Because the crystal itself probably has some sort of um, characteristic, right? Something it absorbs. Because let's face it, that crystal was
Definitely.
there long before us, right?
Yeah, definitely.
So it absorbed a lot of energy over time. A lot of things happened over it, around it, whatever. I mean, like who knows,
But
right?
that's the thing with crystals. You can't just expect it to absorb all your energy and change your life without cleansing that unwanted energy out of it and recharging it and programming it. And you know what I'm saying? Like, the powers in the crystals work with your mind.
Well, yeah, the powers in the crystals are your powers.
That's why it's good to meditate with crystals.
The crystals will carry a vibration, right? It's the same thing. In magic, we work with colors, we work with sounds, we work with a whole bunch of different things. And those things, the reason we work with one in particular is because of its particular vibration. So let's say I want to do something to have courage, be active. I'm going for, I don't want to say I'm going to war, but I'm going to something that will require me
You
to
never
be
know
very
these days.
active. but I'm going to an important meeting, but it's one where I really need to be like on fire. You know what I mean? Well, then I might focus on the color red, right? Because I need that vibration. So if let's say I wrote, I light a red candle, I focus on the god Mars, and I go, uh, I say, like I am the god Mars, I am the god of war, I am courageous, I am, and I kind of put myself in that spirit, right? All those gods, those are all things that humans are. That's what they are, except on steroids. They kind of, like exaggerated it, if you will, in a sense. They're all things we have inside us. And so when you're calling it the force of a god, and you're focusing on the color and the sounds, and you're imagining situations and whatnot, you're tricking your brain is basically what you're doing. You're creating this entire vision that makes your brain function that much better towards that goal, right? It's as much as I can kind of make it scientific, if you will. Or you're using your mind, but you're using your mind in a way that at some point, what starts happening is things happen by themselves. Like things, you discover things that you didn't know, and yet it's characters that you have created that are letting you know. And that's because you're now in some way communicating with your subconscious. Um, and that becomes really cool. And that
And
is
if
what
that's
your higher
something you're
self is
interested
doing.
in, let me just say a lot of people start like opening up in their later years, but if you're someone young and it's something that interests your thoughts, try to do this as early as possible because this lifetime is not enough time to learn everything there is to learn. Nobody will ever learn everything there is to learn.
We already know all of it.
I'm talking about as far as how to use it
Oh,
in
yeah. No,
the
absolutely.
spiritual.
I disagree with that.
Okay, let's hear your opinion.
Some people will accomplish it. Some people will reach enlightenment this lifetime.
Very few.
Well,
This
yeah,
is rare, rare, rare.
less rare in this day and age, I believe. I think there's going to be a bunch of people in this day and age. I think there's going to be a
The
lot.
next generation coming up, yeah, yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
definitely. They already are. I mean, even other countries, you can see that just when that war started, you can by the comments people were saying from different countries, you can see that enlightenment was in the air.
Even in our generation, I think what's happening right now is there's a whole bunch of people that are enlightened. We're just not. We've lost focus because there's so many people. We could have 3 million enlightened people. We may never know. They're lost in the noise. There's like 8 billion of us. You see what I mean? And I think there is. I think the same. I believe the same ratio of what was. Okay, I'm gonna get into some weird stuff here. Um, okay, let's take the times of Jesus, assuming we can enter that realm, whatever. Um,
What's
I'm
your
gonna get
opinion on where
lost here.
that realm is? Realm is.
That well, that
What realm? What's your opinion on where 2D, 3D, 4D, 5D? Well,
those
like,
things I don't fully understand all that they mean.
but I thought you said we already knew everything.
Well, yeah, we do.
But that's the thing, we
I know
forget.
everything I need to know for me. I don't need everything you need. Like you need to know everything you need to know for you.
No, but if
There's
you
no
want to learn
there's no
everything
chance you're gonna know
spiritually,
everything. That's never gonna happen.
exactly, exactly. That's what
But
I
you're gonna
said.
know everything you need to know, and that's all within you already. But it's not
Exactly.
for me to tell you. I cannot. I can't tell you. Nobody can tell you what your path is. You need
No,
to
but you can
connect
be
with that.
guided. Well, the thing is
Yes, you
that
can be guided in methods in which you can seek yourself. In methods in which you can, because it's your higher self. It's some people would call it your guardian angel. There's different names for it, but in the end, it's a part of you. It's actually
hi
more
Nick.
than a part of you. It's more you than anything else. Almost. It's the you that knows better. I don't know how to explain it, and it talks through intuition. Um, that's sort of my experience of it. I don't know. I feel weird talking about it sometimes because like it's a weird.
It is weird, and our opinions change from day to day. I mean,
It,
sometimes, I mean, I may feel one way one day, and then the next day I feel a different way. That's okay.
oh, for
That
sure.
doesn't make the day before wrong.
No, at all. At all. No, no. But it's like the that connection is very hard to describe because it's not. Okay, imagine for a moment when I do magic. Let's say, right? I use a lot of visualizations. And so in those visualizations, I visualize archangels, I visualize like choirs of angels, I visualize all kinds of stuff. Um, now, that particular guardian angel, but higher, for me, it's higher self. That particular being, if you will, it was more like made of light, made of yellowish white light. And it can run through me. Like it exists through me, but it exists on its own as well.
Hmm.
I don't know how to describe that, and it's connected to a lot more than I am.
Where's your light coming from?
Well, it's coming from within. It's because it doesn't. It's not like okay, that's a human. That's the problem. That's where it becomes complicated because it. I communicate with it through intuition more than
Hmm.
anything. It just kind of that is the thing that tells me when and when not to help people because it just guides everything I do. It just kind of um, and so by gaining the experience of that, it requires to remove a whole bunch of layers of garbage that we've picked up when we were kids, when we were all over the place. Like people have taught us to be so constricted, so we put walls all around ourselves. We're like completely hidden, and so we have to remove a lot of that. We have to come to terms with all of our traumas. Maybe not
Hmm.
all, but the ones that are, and I was thinking about that this morning, right? I'm always going to have weird quirks that happen because of my traumas.
Hmm.
But now I recognize them. Actually, this morning, here's something that happens to me, and I need to look into that. And I have been, but, I didn't know before. But in the mornings, I get this shaking, right? And I've always thought, okay, that's my anxiety, whatever. But I never really made a link, and I went like, wait a minute, why is it always in the morning? And then I kind of sat with the feeling, and I can't say for sure, but I think there used to be something about the mornings around, and I'm gonna have to keep an eye at the time. But around that particular time when I was a kid, that made me feel uncomfortable. Because a lot of
See,
things make me feel uncomfortable in my house. So, it wouldn't be unusual for me to feel uncomfortable. But I
well,
suspect,
I've been seeing like advertisements for some kind of therapy where, like, and I didn't watch the whole thing. I don't want to say the wrong thing, but I probably will. Something where, like, when a specific thing happens, they'll touch you here, and so it like trains your brain to do
yes,
different
that's
things.
that's through NLP. It's a programming that you're doing. It's
Hmm.
because Our mind uses the body to store emotions, right? And so it has triggers, and that's a huge thing in coaching. Like we've done that, you and I, before. In coaching, there's an exercise that we can do that touches on that. But your emotions get stored in different parts of your body, and so you're using that consciously to either store emotions for yourself. So let's say you're a person who's anxious. Now, what you could do is every time you manage, let's say you also meditate, right? To keep things fairly simple here. Every time you finish meditating and you're feeling excessively at peace and like everything is really nice, like really focus on all the beauty of it. Even imagine in your head like nice images or something. And as you do it, tap yourself on the left shoulder like this.
Hmm.
And then do it every day. Now, one day when you're at work and you're getting anxious and you're freaking out and whatever, tap yourself on the shoulder one day and see what happens. All of a sudden, you're going to get back to the state in which you were every other time you tapped yourself on the shoulder because your body remembers. It's the same reason why, like, I never do anything else but sleep in my bedroom. And the reason why I learned that a long time ago is because if your body gets you, if let's say my computer would be in my bedroom, every day I go on my computer and I work and I do all kinds of stuff and I'm awake and I'm like, excited. And now I go to bed. Nothing told my body we're doing anything different now. So it's all excited. It's all going like, hey, what are we doing? My brain is all like, and so if I create that sense of separation, every time we walk in this room, we sleep. Well, guess what? Every time I walk in that room, I sleep, right? Because I now I don't recognize
That's
that
something
room
I
as
need to look
anything else.
into.
It works. It's insane what it does. It's worked wonders for me. I sleep like a baby. I always have.
All
Well,
right,
I
let's
always have.
see. Let's ask a question to GPT.
To Chat GPT. Okay. What question would you like to ask?
Um,
Let's say we did that decent one.
what do you think? Let's let you ask it.
I don't know. Nick, any ideas? Nick always engages with us. He'll help us. All right, I'll try. We need another subject. Check. Wait, there's another topic about spirituality. The concept of mindfulness in spirituality, understanding its origin, benefits, and practical application in daily life. Absolutely.
Can we do a share or something?
A share, screen share.
Or yeah, like when you pull it up, or can you copy and paste it in the chat,
Yeah, sure.
like the words or
Well,
whatever?
yeah, yeah. Okay. How will I do it so that? Okay. Let me see. Paste. What the heck's going on? Oh, it's because it wants me to do the share.
You play this short break while you look at it, okay? Oops. All right.
All right. So here's Chat GPT. If we want to play with it. Oops. Okay, so I need to do this for this. Why do we? I'm gonna get in trouble for gendering the damn thing. It, E, Z. What is it? E, E, gender, or gender. Artificial intelligence language model. I do not have gender or gender preference. Okay, so how
What?
do I how can I avoid misgender?
What is funny? You got a
Using any
smirk
gender
on your face
pronouns
like
when referring
something's
to them.
funny. What's funny?
I guess it wants to be referred to
Welcome,
as
Tracy. We have some chats going on. Let's get questions in the chats. Welcome, Shelly.
sure. You guys want to ask us questions? Let's go nuts. We
So
can ask Chat
we're
GPT too.
yeah, we're looking at Chat GPT. We're asking spiritual questions. Um, let's ask.
Okay, but let's start some discussion about something. So, what do we want to ask?
Let's ask about the crystals since we were on that topic.
Okay, what do we want to know about the crystals? You can just tell us
Um,
about crystals.
do crystals really heal people?
Oh, okay. Uh, crystals. What do I got a feeling? That's the use of crystal for healing purposes is a topic of debate within the scientific and spiritual communities. While some people believe that
It
crystals have
doesn't read
healing
it to you.
properties, no, that can be beneficial for physical, emotional, and spiritual well-being, others are skeptical and believe that any perceived benefit are simply a result of placebo effect or subjective experiences. From a scientific perspective, there is limited evidence to support the healing properties of crystals. While some studies have shown that certain crystals may have electromagnetic properties and can affect the body's energy field, the evidence is not conclusive and more research is needed. On the other hand, from a spiritual perspective, crystals are believed to have unique vibrational frequencies that can help balance and align the body's energy centers or chakras, which can lead to improved well-being. However, the effectiveness of crystal healing can vary greatly depending on the individual's intentions and expectations. In summary, while the use of crystals for healing purposes remains a controversial topic, many people find value in incorporating them into their spiritual practice as a tool for promoting relaxation, mindfulness, and inner peace. It's important to keep in mind that
So
crystal healing.
basically, I think if you believe it's going to help you, it's going to help you.
Well, that's what they refer to as the placebo effect.
Right. Right.
But I think it's more than that. I believe it's more than that. I believe
Shelly
in
says, of course they
vibrations and
do.
energies. I believe they're way more than that. Like they have a vibration. They have a everything does. I mean,
What's your favorite crystal, Frank?
that's it.
Or
I
do
guess
you have a favorite?
the diamond.
Diamond? Let's see if Shelly knows what my favorite crystal is.
Jen, you know, you know, you know. Let's put her on the spot. All right, let's talk about something. We're just sitting here, and we might as well be on the phone here. All right. So crystals. So how do we use crystals? You tell us about crystals. You know about crystals. It's your jam.
She says amethyst. Yeah, I do love amethyst. It's one of my favorites. I have a few favorites. My favorites: amethyst, jade, pyrite, clear quartz, and selenite. Like I can't choose. Oh,
Well,
and
that's it.
black tourmaline. or black obsidian too. Yeah, just add in some citrine, aquamarine. Like I just can't get enough.
Nice.
So
And so, okay, so how do you use them, and what benefits have they shown to you, and you know what I mean? Like,
I use crystals to um charge and cleanse my tarot.
okay,
Um, like I had sent didn't I send you one of those one like
yeah,
this?
the little plates there. Yes, you did.
Yeah. So I keep my tarot cards on here, and I keep also clear quartz and black tourmaline on my tarot cards. And I use crystals for protection. I keep selenite in the doors of all my cars. Um because selenite is good for protection while you're traveling. And I slip that in some suitcases, when my kids travel and stuff. Well, I used to when
You
they lived
slip
at
it in
home.
their suitcases.
I did when they lived at home, yeah. And
uh,
then I I keep crystals in my bra. I always keep a clear quartz, a selenite, and a black tourmaline, and a amethyst. And I use crystals when doing readings. Um, I sometimes I look into the crystals for the readings, like what the crystal tells me or what I feel from the crystal. Um, I've let my clients hold crystals in person, which is not often because I don't see people in person. But like I've had people that have come in person, and
so
I've
okay,
let them
wait a minute.
hold the
Rewind
crystal,
five
put
seconds there.
their energy in it.
Rewind 5 seconds there. You read the crystal. I wanna hear more about that.
Where's my crystal ball?
Oh,
I
okay.
don't
So
think I can
using a
reach it.
crystal ball. Okay.
Um,
I thought reading like a crystal, like a little,
you
you know what I
can.
mean,
It
like a
doesn't have to be
crystal
a
ball.
crystal ball. It can
Really?
be
Eh?
anything, because when you look into crystals, you can see like cracks, or it's not necessarily a crack, but like different shapes and
Yeah,
different
different little
colors,
imperfections.
and there's so many things you can see about a crystal that tells you about a person when you use your intuition.
Okay.
Like, let's see, an example would be, um, and this is not for everybody. So I'm not saying that when you see this crystal, this is what you think about this person. I'm not saying that at all. Everybody's different. But for example, if I see like a bluish crystal around someone, I can interpret that in different ways. I can interpret it as like them being sad or different ways.
So could you, let's say, like,
And a lot of times, like when I do use my crystal ball, which is not often, what I see, like when I'm concentrating in the ball, if this let's take this away. When people say they're reading a crystal ball, a TV screen does not pop up on your ball and play the picture, okay? This happens in your mind. For those of y'all that don't know, that I've had people ask me already. So anyway, I'll look into my crystal ball and I'll see like the different cracks. And some places are cloudy, some places are more clear, some places have, just different things about it. And it'll talk to me like, I don't mean like really talk to me, but it'll
I
like
know what
things
you
will pop into my mind and I'll just say it.
I tried when I was younger. I tried and I totally failed at it. Like I couldn't do it. I bought a crystal ball and I tried to. I had seen like I had read either a book or something back then because I guess the internet wasn't a thing,
And it
and
doesn't
I
have to
couldn't
be
do it.
um a big, like I have a big crystal ball that my husband bought me for Mother's Day a couple of years ago.
Mm.
But it doesn't have to be a big crystal ball because this one was like a few $100s. It was very expensive because it's
They
pretty
are.
big.
They're super
But you
expensive.
can use like just a regular spear, a smaller spear. Um, the main thing is to focus your concentration on looking into the crystal and just feeling into it and what it tells you. How does it make you feel? What does it make you think of?
That's
We should
impressive.
try that.
Yeah.
We should try that one night.
Was that having you need
We
the
also,
crystal?
I stopped the circle, but when I did do circle, we used to do where I would assign them to do readings, crystal readings is what I would call it. And what they would do is they would pick a reading that they felt pertained to their partner and tell me why.
Hmm.
Like if it had like let's say it was a taller crystal with different um inclusions or whatever in it, you could interpret that as someone that had a rough life and went through many milestones. Um, Depending on what the color is, you could interpret it with aura colors or whatever color you see around that person, or everybody's different, but that's how you get the reading. And in the reading, you describe the crystal as the person.
Well, it's because the truth is, it's all information you have. The crystal is only the tool to get it out.
Right.
It's only there to facilitate. So it could be
Because your
crystal, it could
mind's
be
going to tell
tea,
you
it could
what
be
crystal to
anything.
pick anyway. So, yeah.
Yeah, that's it. The same crack could mean two different things on two different
And that's
occasions
why
because
that's why I can use the same crystal ball and read hundreds of people, because every time I see that same crack, I'm going to see it in a different way, and it's going to mean something different.
yeah, it's not about soul. It's just giving a tool for that part. I don't know if it's the subconscious. I don't know exactly what it is, but it's in that realm, right? But that's the part that communicates in symbols and communicates in um, very intuitive ways and very uh, etheric ways, almost, if you will, right? But we all have that. We all can reach that. But those things, the tarot, the crystal ball, the pendulum, the all those things, they all help us to channel that part because it doesn't really understand language the same way our conscious does. Um, Number one, it doesn't understand negatives. Uh, so anytime you want to reach your subconscious using language, if you say I don't want to do something, you're telling your subconscious I want to do this. So what you need to do is never, and it works. By the way, any parents out there, try this if you haven't. It works with children like wonderful as well. Um, Instead of trying to stop things, give them new direction, right? Any energy that happens, anything that comes at you, don't ever try to stop it because it's not gonna work. You're gonna like that is counterproductive. You focus it in a new way. So when your child is going nuts, it's quite possibly because they just need to go outside or because there's usually a simple solution. If they keep on playing with that thing and it's driving you nuts, you can yell at them till you're blue in the face and be like, stop playing with that, stop playing with that. And quite simply, if you go, hey, check that thing out, they'll go play with the other thing.
That's that's kind of crazy. Like I think about that a lot. Like I had so many intentions on what I was going to do as a parent and how I wasn't going to be as a parent from growing up.
Right.
And yeah, I accomplished that, but I fucked up all kind of other shit.
Well, yeah, of
So,
course.
like, I still like it's impossible
No, it's not. You know why?
for
You
me.
were
It
the
is.
you were the purveyor of the type of life that your children had chosen. They need their own experiences. They're not about you. They're about them. They have nothing to do with you.
Too bad I couldn't learn that earlier.
You think they do, but they don't. They're like we don't look at our parents the same as we look at our kids, and when we look at our kids, we forget that they look at us the way we look at our parents, not the
Hmm.
way we look at our kids. Because our kids were like, "Oh my god," our parents were like, "Yeah, whatever." Man. Like, "Huh?" So it's like, well, okay, we get surprised when our kids go, "Yeah, whatever." Well, yeah, of course, they're not. We're their parents. We're not, you know. And we get surprised and we hate it. Of course we do, but it's okay. That's just the way of life.
All right. So
I
let's
guess we
see.
can say.
Are we gonna wrap up or we going
I mean,
into
it's your
another
call.
topic or
I'm
what are
good
we
to go,
doing?
or I'm good to wrap up. Either way,
All right.
whichever serves better. Okay, let's see. We'll give it up to the crowd. If the crowd wants us to go on, we'll go on. How's that? But you guys have to be vocal about it. That's my way of forcing them. And
We
everybody,
got
like, say,
we have such
okay,
a
look.
shy audience.
Oh, wait up, wait up, wait up. I gotta say it because we never say it. So you guys share this, like it, comment. You know what I mean? Like, do something. Like, come on, help us get on the map. Like, help us. We're really trying to help people here, and we really want to be. Um, yeah, we want to get there. We want to be able to help you guys. We want to be able to help other people. Um,
Help us help you.
yeah, hopefully we're helpful. I mean, I don't even know that. So you guys want us to go on, or you guys want us to wrap up for today? Any other topics you'd like to explore? Oh, it says we can't post to some channels and stuff, so we may
I
not
saw
even
that
get.
earlier. I don't know what that's about. Well, I clicked on it. It's Facebook that doesn't allow you to, but I have written there, and it is showing up on Facebook because I'm
Okay,
following the Facebook. So I don't know. Maybe just a bunch of
Facebook is a
humbug.
bit stranger sometimes. Very bizarre on some stuff. All right, well, you know what? I guess we're gonna wrap up because right now we're just chatting about Facebook. So, you know,
Alrighty. Let's see. Wait. Oh wait. Frank, I forgot how to work this thing.
it's
Oh,
okay.
that
Well,
was
guys,
way too
listen.
many groups.
Thanks a lot for joining us, as always. Listen, join us every week. It's. I know it's confusing. It's 1 week Tuesday, 1 week Thursday. It's my
This
fault, and I'm attempting to find a way to make it one of the 2 nights. But
next week it is Tuesday. So this coming Tuesday, I don't know what the date is on Tuesday.
Tuesday,
Tuesday is the 28th.
Tuesday the 28th. Yes, 28th of February.
February.
February. So you guys, listen, thanks a
What
lot for
was that?
coming. That was my computer panel falling on my phone. I was hoping nobody would hear it.
All right, guys. We'll see you Tuesday at 7 Central, 8
Take care, guys.
Eastern. Good night.